right? Part 6, cannibal, Brahmins, cannibals, right? Um, we're going to I will read the verse from page 121. Right. After cooking the flesh of a great variety of animals, the wretch mingled with it the cooked flesh of Brahmins. All the invited Brahmins were then summoned to the feast. Their feet were duly washed, and they were courteously shown to their places. So what I'm trying to present here, it is a verse in the Ramayan that's saying that Brahmins were cannibals. Okay? So I don't want to mislead anybody by saying I'm making a false allegation here. All right? So they can go to that verse, page 121 of the Ramcharitamanas. All right? So I'm going to make another thing, that page on the Trikuta, meaning three pyramids, Lanka. Page 124, three-peak mountain named Trikuta, right? Page 124, verse 8, known as Lanka. The three pyramids were known as Lanka, right? And page 125, 10 heads are 10 cities. Page 125 again, Mount Kailasa temple is Ravana. So you have a lot of supporting verses confirming that Lanka are buildings, right? That is Ravana. The Ravana all you're talking about, that is the Ravana. Now Ravana names 12 buildings. Page 123, verse 5 to verse 3 presents 12 buildings. They have the names here, all the names. And in trying to ascertain which building to identify what building are they referring to, well, Trikuta meaning the three pyramids. Now page 127, verse 3 states caves of Mount Sumeru. Now I point that to mean the ruins of Petra, because that is a cave constructed. Nobody knows who did that. They're talking about the Nabateans constructed that. They had no knowledge on stonework. The only people with knowledge of stonework were Hindus. Now, there's a point here I want to make here with Abraham, right? I'll read the verse with Abraham. John 8:39. This is from Bible. They answered and said to him, our father is Abraham. Jesus said to him, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. Verse states, our father is Abraham. Jews, Christians, Muslims, all three are claiming that Abraham is their father and they are children of Abraham. Now I'm asking the question, who appointed Abraham as your father? They claim God, Yahweh, Elohim, Allah appointed Abraham as their father. I will analyze. Now Genesis 12:1-5 presents 5 gods. 1. It was goddess Manasseh who appointed Abraham. Who appointed Abraham to construct Bible for Hindus. Right? It was goddess Saraswati who gave 3 subjects. This is the gods appointed Abraham here, who gave 3 subjects named Abraham, Isaac, Jacob to Abraham for Hindus. Right? 3. For it was Agni who gave time to Abraham. Agni gave time to Abraham to cross the seas and return to complete Bible for Hindus. It was Varuna, the god of seas, who gave to Abraham 18 forms to cross the seas and return to 0. So it was 5 Hindu gods who appointed Abraham to deliver laws and knowledge to Hindus. Abraham is father of Hindus. Who gave you authority to claim Abraham? Entity Abraham was born on 13,500 BC. I have it here. On 13,500 BC. Where was Allah, Elohim and Yahweh then? Or you have any records of that? You couldn't speak a language then, right? Ravana, This topic is to measure intelligence of ancient Hindus with all scholars of today. Ramayan. In Ramayan, Ravana is described with 10 heads and 20 hands. It is stated that 10 heads are 10 cities and 20 hands are 20 oceans. All buildings and houses are described as demons. Killing demons are constructing buildings. 12 demons are not stated, but throughout Ramayan, 12 forms of 12 demons are stated. Therefore, Ravana is 10 cities, 20 oceans, and 12 demons. This is how you describe Ravana. In Bible, if you go to Bible and you go to Revelation 19, what they have there is a rider on the white horse. A rider on white horse is making reference to Ravana. This is him here. That's the rider on white horse in the Bible. And if you check in the first 5 lines of the paragraph, you will get 42 forms. 42 forms is describing Ravana. Right? Complete Bible is a Hindu book and it's Hindu business. Write your own book. And they're very great there. They could write their own book. I don't know why they have to take away the scriptures. Now I present Ravana names of 12 buildings. Now page 123 to 126 present the names very clear. 12 buildings named Ravana. Right? 14,000 demons. In Aranya Kanda, Ram faces an army of 14,000 demons. In 1.5 hours, he slayed 14,000 demons. What does this mean? Right? In another instance, he killed 194,444 demons. Ram killed all with his sharp arrows. In 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours calculation is 900 years. In 900 years and with millions of Hindu exiles, with millions of sharp arrows, meaning that millions of houses can be constructed. Houses are demons. To kill a demon is to construct a house. To shoot an arrow is to construct a building. Hindus built houses for people wherever they went, meaning that cannibals had no knowledge of constructing houses. Food source. What this research shows is that only Hindus built houses and stone buildings. There is no evidence to prove that others built houses in BCE era. You must understand that all people were cannibals outside of India. Hindus taught people to domesticate animals as a food source. This transition of food on 2 feet, that means in humans, to food on 4 feet, animals, are basis of their cultures and knowledge. Europeans learned to domesticate cattle in permanent settlements. Arabs learned to domesticate sheep and goats by walking with their food source on 4 feet. This is Bedouin culture. Page 489, verse 3, refer to state, oh, 10-headed disguised as a man. Ravana disguised as a man. Ravana is 12 structures disguised as a man. That is what they say. Page 485 again. Ram killed 14,000 demons, same as David and Goliath in Bible. Ram constructed 14,000 homes. That is what it means. There's a point I want to make here. It's written in Daniel 2:44 of the Bible. I will read it out. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which will never be destroyed. And this kingdom will not pass into the hands of another race. It will shatter and absorb all previous kingdoms and itself last forever. Hindu kingdoms can never be transferred to another race or another people. What are Hindu kingdoms? The same kingdoms that they built, all these stone structures, Hindus constructed that, right? Now, I want to make a point here with the teachers of the Hindu law or the Vedic law. They continue to make statements as when you're born, you will reincarnate as something or come back as human. I want them to know that it's a very easy way to find out whether this works. The person who is teaching this must present himself or volunteer himself to sacrifice himself to see if he can come back alive. Instead of passing on this stupid literature to children So when they go outside to talk about reincarnation, everybody laugh at them. So the person who making this statement, whoever it is, must volunteer themselves to show that the reincarnation works, or the born again, or whatever, whether it's Bible or Bhagavad Gita or Ramayan. Another point, when you're making statements like for instance, we have Brahma with 5 heads. And you have Ravana with 10 heads and 20 hands and 12 demons. You must be able to explain what it means. You're just saying he has 5 heads and 6 hands and 10 hands and all this sort of thing. But you cannot. So what you're supposed to do in teaching, because you are teaching my generation of people, what you are supposed to do is to go into the classroom and teach the teachers these things. And let them give you the laugh instead of embarrassing the children in the classroom. You understand? Now Brahma in this instance here is very simple. He has 5 heads. It is the 5 entities of 5 gods. This is in their Bible too. So these statements made by pundits is only embarrassing our people when you cannot explain what it means. And given this thing that I explained, this birth and death here, the resurrection, you can get 1,000, you could get 1,000,000. Birth and death, birth and death. This is what it means. And what it means is the number system is to find, uncover the numeral system. So I don't want people going about, I don't understand where they get. This Ramayan have the full history of Ram. That is the man to worship. He playing cricket, he making cook, and playing music. This is a real person. It is not no fictitious person, you know. And when they ask you a question, when was he born, you can't say. It's an entity. Ram is an entity. I explained that here in the beginning. This is an entity formed from Brahma. Or you could call it a subsidiary. You understand? Let them know. And they have the dates. They have the dates in 13,500. I don't know. What I explain again that Ram and Bharat left at 13,500 years to go to the forest. What it meant that 8,000 years after they meet. Is it the same member? It is not the same member. So you have to be able to explain these things for the generation. You can't make sense of talking about born again. And I talked to a pundit there. He say, I'm in 65 or 64 reincarnation this one have. I can't understand what when you're teaching the children like that, how you expect them to go outside and explain your scripture. Everybody will laugh at them. They would not be. You shut them up for the rest of their life. I would like, this is a point I want to make with these pundits, and they're making this kind of frivolous or nonsensical statements. I don't know, and when will they stop that? You have your whole history here in your Ramayan. I don't know who reading this thing from here to India. I don't know who reading it. And you have the whole history of Ram. And I presented it here, and it is you to refute it. Say that what you are saying is right, and that what I'm saying is wrong. I have no problem with that. But you have the whole history, and I never heard any pundit make relate the history of Ram yet. You understand? You have to understand these scriptures were built by Ram, which is Hindu exiles that went out to teach these the same Christians and Muslims, you know. Today, you know, they did not know anything, you know. You understand? So I don't know why is it they're silent on their own scripture, and your scripture is a history book. I stated so in the last video that all of these things is a science, and you have the history. Read the history. You only read in the what we would call this spiritual world and birth and death world, and you have no knowledge on it. I think I've made my point here, and I expect to hear from everybody on this. Thank you.